Ah yes, feel that nostalgia. Sing it with me. To catch them is my... Actually, let's not. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Pokemon, never have been. I've seen the show, that was alright. I saw the first film at the cinema. That was pretty okay, I suppose. I even dabbled in the card game too during the height of its popularity 15 to 20 years ago. Obviously only the collecting side of thing, never really fancied having to buy a video to learn the rules of a card game, you got me? But, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I've never ever played a Pokemon game. Well, actually I did play this one, and I quite liked it, but I've never played any of the proper Game Boy style games. I know, I'm not a real gamer. They're on the one day I will play 'em pile. Perhaps when they make a proper Switch Pokemon game, I will be a changed gamer and realise what I've missed out on. But then again, it didn't necessarily work for Breath of the Wild, did it? Regardless, I can see why the world of Pokemon as a brand with games, toys, card collecting, etc. is so addictive to fans around the world, and you can see why so many companies have tried to replicate the phenomenon with fairly random levels of success. Anyway, amongst all of these Pokemon inspired brands, would you believe that SEGA even had a go? Yep. And on top of that, it was actually pretty damn popular in its land of origin. Well, now you do, and today we plan to dig deep into this often forgotten Pokemon inspired series that was created by the original Nintendo rivals. Welcome to Slope's Game Room. So, firstly, what does this SEGA series need to be for it to be classed as a Pokemon inspired product? Well, it's got to have games, that's an obvious one, but more importantly they need to feature collectible little characters that battle each other. There needs to be collectible cards too. This is very important. I mean heck, what would Pokemon be without a shiny Charizard, am I right? You can see it's been a while since I've collected these things, can't you? And finally, to tie it all together, you need a popular anime that further expands the Pokemon inspired universe with plenty of toys to go with it. Well, would you believe it? There is in fact a fairly unknown series that covers all of these bases, and from what I can tell, it was pretty damn popular. This game first came onto my radar a year or so ago when watching the incredible SEGA Hard Girls anime. The story of 3 girls, Mega Drive, Saturn and Dreamcast, who go to SEGA University and end up getting sucked into different games to complete challenges. Now, being a big SEGA fan, I'm happy to say that whilst watching this show, I could name practically every single cameo going, even the obscure ones. Well, all except one, that is, who just so happened to be SEGA's answer to Pikachu. Come on, SEGA. Don't let us fans down, give us something a bajillion times cuter than this thing. Oh dear. The story goes that a long time ago there was this big forest full of insects and fairies, and one of those fairies was Popo, who was a friend to the insects, most notably Mushi King. One day, this douche named Ada put a load of giant beetles under his spell to destroy the forest, and it's up to you to battle them in a very Pokemon style fashion. Possibly even more Pokemon than Pokemon, because instead of connecting your Game Boy cartridges to your N64, in this game you collect your cards and swipe them directly into the arcade cabinet. The game's played like this. Firstly, the 2 opponents with a 20-second time limit hit one of these 3 buttons that represent rock, paper or scissors, and then decide who goes first. You then scan your Beetle card by using the barcode found on the side of your collectible card, or on the bottom for later revisions, which brings that bug onto the screen. As you would expect, the cards all play quite differently, and shiny cards, aka the rare ones, are easily the most powerful, starting with a shiny bronze and then silver and gold. Now that you've got your Beetle card scanned, it's time to scan your skill card. These are basically the Beetle's abilities, which work flawlessly if the skill points found on the card happen to match the exact same skill point number found on the Beetle card. The ability only works in a good fashion if it's higher than that number, and a poor fashion if it's below. And then you have special skill cards, which really help in battle, but are only activated if a certain criteria is met. Like for instance, if there is a draw or a certain player goes first. And then finally you've got the super rare cards, the license cards. These are scanned at the beginning of the battle, if you've got them, and basically just show off the player by highlighting their name. These are extremely rare and can only be obtained by winning tournaments held by SEGA. As you can see, there is quite a bit of skill involved. The more you play it, the more cards you get, and the more choices you have during battle. The games are developed by Mirai R&D, one of Sega's primary research and development teams that pretty much completely focused on the Mushi King series. In fact, it was this game in 2003 that actually spawned the wildly popular, for a short time, collectible card dispensing arcade games, which became even more popular with games like Dinosaur King and Love and Berry Dress Up and Dance.
Hi, I'm Love. Nice to meet you. Scan your fashion magic cards and transform us into fabulously dressed up girls.
Yeah, those ones are definitely not for me. This is the introduction to Mushi King, the King of the Beatles anime, which was apparently a pretty well received show, and even ended up getting a movie and several soundtracks. There's also toys, kids' clothing, statues, mangas, Tamagotchis, bloody hell there's even Pogs, well there's plenty of other tat. Imagine wearing this around your waist and showing up all your mates as you pull out the ultimate shiny. Ladies, form a queue. Now I know there are some hardcore Pokemon fans out there, and heck, for a short time there was some hardcore Mushi King fans too, when the machines made their way over to the States in a very limited run. And if you go back far enough on YouTube, you can even find a few videos of kids getting quite into this series outside of Japan. Now I'm sure making a video saying that this small animal beat 'em up franchise is similar to this small animal beat 'em up franchise is going to get some hardcore fans really riled up. But come on, you can see the similarities, right? Games like this really pique my interest, and even though I've absolutely no interest in ever playing a game like this, I found it fascinating that a franchise as big as this one from a company as well known as SEGA, with its crazy amount of ports, has gone pretty much completely unknown to the majority of the gaming world. Outside of Japan, that is. If anyone here has actually ever played one of these machines, then share your experiences in the comments section below. And although it might not exactly be my thing, I can't deny it, I am intrigued. So much so that I think it's finally time to play Pokemon. Now, which game shall I start with? Hey there guys, thanks for checking out the video. I want to say thank you to obviously all of my Patreons, with a special shout out going to Matthew Ritter, Ryan Burford, Phil Lowland, DNA Chapman, Creamy Elephant, James Loveridge, Casey Garner, Blitz, Hedgie Ben, Hall, Taylor Almond and Tiago Piera dos Santos Silva. If you want to be part of my Patreon list, get your name shouted out, get your name shown, share your work in the Discord channel, see what I'm working on, see previews and exclusive videos, then please click the link that you see on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you prefer, chuck it all over social media, do all of that usual stuff. But for now, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.